What is up, ladies and germs? Welcome back for another video. Today we have another episode of We Draft Paper, and this is for Lorwyn Eclipsed. So, fun draft, hard to navigate. The drafting portion is, it does have its difficulties, but it's just like finding coherencies of whatever you're trying to do, because there's only 5 like real decks or like supported decks in this format, so you have to kind of make your own in-betweens between decks, is kind of the name of the game with this set. So I'm MTG Flux. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. So if you guys like what we do here, please like, comment, subscribe, and hang out and enjoy the rest of the video. All right. Pack one, pick one. Let's go. Let's get something juicy. All right. So, as kind of stated in the intro, it's hard to navigate these this set particularly. Immediately, I pull in the hold, and then we get a couple rares here with the Bristlebane Battler, which is pretty good in the Kitkin deck. I'd much rather be in Merfolk than Kitkin, so this Sig actually looks a lot more appealing for me. This card's actually fantastic. It provides card advantage on blockability, and hopefully wield one of these nice white or blue cards and call it a day. So, feeling good about that. So yeah, Merfolk's great. I would kind of, at this point, after a couple drafts, I would go Elves, Merfolk, Elementals, Kitkin, Goblins, kind of in that kind of order of what I think is best. Elves are sweet, super, super sweet. We get a Hollow Fountain, so yeah, the Bloombind is would be a nice pickup here, but I think just trying to cut, Hollow Fountain isn't really cutting Merfolk, but I do think it's a nice addition to what I'm trying to do here. So, feel good about that. The right pick probably is the Bloom enchantment. Evolving Wilds if I really want to get my mana real good early. But we get the Solitude, which is fine. I think there was a spot where I could have speculated on the Blight Rot, just being instant speed interaction. A lot of Goblins was kind of going around, but I didn't. The thing about this set is like you want a reason to be into something. You don't want to just take a medium option to hope that you're in the archetype. So I get past this, which is a nice card. So this could have been the moment where I kind of turned into Goblins, seeing a couple of the aunties, but we also have a good white removal here. So opting to go into that. Excuse me. Navigating this draft was difficult because I usually try to stay open for as long as I can and just stick to my rule of, hey, we're just going to take good cards and see what happens. And I did that, but it kind of put me in a waffling spot. Like as of right now, I am very blue-white, just trying to stick to the mantras, stick to the business of Merfolk, but I'm also not ignoring the other cards. I do think that Blight Rot probably was a better pick in that other pack, so, but, it's fine. Like, because black was kind of flowing for me because Goblins wasn't contested on my side of the table. So we have a little recursion spell here. Choose not to take it. I could see green too, and I do like the Wicker Maw. Bloombind, it's just great. There's often games where I'm just like the Solitude, Bloombind, the Solitude, like, because I had multiple copies of each. I'm also keeping an eye on elves as well because I get some signals passed to me. The Vine Bind, I think it is, that 4/2 that must be blocked or whatever. It's an okay card. It's not a reason to be an elf, so I didn't take it. But the Wicker Maw is a contested option, so I don't think there is necessarily a wrong option in either of these picks, because the Wicker Maw unlocks a lot of things that you can do, and it's super important. Super important. Another Evolving Wilds. Someone's going to have good fixing for sure. And then we get the Dawn Hand Dissident. So this card is great. It's a Self Engine, and it would be really good in like Goblins too, because it just provides a blight option and things to do with it, yada yada. But it's just card advantage. It's a 1-drop, well statted at a 1/2. And I'm like, okay, so elves maybe on the table. We'll see what we can get going here. And I'm looking at this pack, not very strong for me, but like I was like, I can keep the elf option open with the Stoic Grove Guide. It by no means is like a serviceable card. It's not a reason. I wouldn't call it like a strong sign or signal from that direction, but it's not bad. It was a pod of, what was it, 10? Yeah, we had 10 people on the pod. There was a lot of people drafting tonight. There was, I think, 28 people drafting tonight. So we had 3 pods going. But yeah, it's nice to get a nice turnout. I do like the Eulogist. Giant Fall is also a nice notable there. But I was like, okay, if elves are kind of flowing here, like, let's just pick some up and see what happens. I mean, I would still just play Sig just to play Sig. I think it's a fine card. It does want blue and white, so like that is that. I think it's a fine spot to pick up a counter spell. It's kind of hard to cast, and I also haven't been very impressed with the Wild Unraveling. But I'm like, I'm really just kind of ignoring these goblins. You know, and at the beginning of the set, I was actually excited to play with goblins, but I don't want to play goblins and fall short of the blight like payoffs, because they're all about blight and aggression and cool things like that. But I don't want to draft it and then feel like I'm falling short of it. That's kind of like my resistance for jumping into goblins, unless I just had. I mean, I can't think of a card in the set that really just want to put me in there like, oh yeah, let's go. Like the flip card is like super medium. Like I'm not even super excited. Easy Spell Snare here I think is just a fine option, especially this late in the pack. So I'm considering the black, but I'm wanting to hedge more towards the elves option. The Auntie's Sentence is just a fine card. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, these goblins are flowing. I mean, my seat was goblins. Let's just make that clear. But I do get some payoffs from the other side, and there's things going on that I can muster up. I ended up going 1-2. They were all really good matches, but what was it? My first match was against. I won my first match, and they were Kithkin, basically mono enchantment auras. Like they had the fight aura, they had the indestructible +2 or +2/+0 trample aura, and they just had so many auras, and they would just go like just super Tron. That's what it turned into, but it was terrible. I do like seeing the Shrine Shrieker, but we see Sunderflock, so it's early enough. I do think this is a pseudo mistake. I'm not in Elementals. Sunderflock is a really good card. It's just a one-sided board wipe if you can, but But I'm like, well, I mean, like, there's plenty of changelings that do proc this to be cheaper. And you know what? Like, I think that we can ride that pony. And so I take it here. I think if I were to change this pick, it'd be the Shrine Shrieker, especially kind of understanding I may be in a 3-color situation at this point of the draft. Mutable Explorer, I'm not trying to go down that road again. The card is just fine. Prisma Basher, so I'm still wanting to kind of keep this elf thing alive. I'm like, well, maybe there's a Sultai thing going on, so I think that we can... that's where my head is at this point. But the Tenafel Rhyme Speakers, also not a bad choice as well. But I think the right pick would have been the Rhyme Speaker. However, like, you don't know how these drafts goes. I'm just trying to be optimal with what I've got. But Prisma Basher is a nice finisher if I do end up in green. Which green was very cut off from both my directions. So, not hopeful there. Bloombind's fine. Look here. A little 1-drop Kitkin. The Noggle of the Mind's pretty fine. Temporal Cleansing. I think Temporal Cleansing probably should have been the right pick here. But Bloombind's also an arguable card to pick up. This is me strictly just waffling between my Merfolk and then my Elves stuff. I think this is actually the pick where I get told what I'm doing for the rest of the draft, and that is Champion of the Shoal. So a great reason to be in Merfolk. And then we have like a really nice, I kind of throw a nod towards the really good 2-drop in Merfolk, but we never don't take the Champions of the Shoal there. The card's just fantastic. It also works with shapeshifters. I do like the sprite. The sprite's really nice. Another Kitkin, giant Kitkin card. So, I don't remember what I pick up here, but I do know that I'm in some trouble. It's just taking me too long to kind of find my lane. Granted, like, there was not Merfolk flowing. Like, that is a big part of it. Especially when you try to take your 1-drop. So if I'm in a 10-person pod, which I was, and I choose an archetype, there are 5 real archetypes that you can be. That means 2 people are drafting that deck on average, or like should be in that space, right? But sometimes there's 3 or 4 people drafting that deck. And if you open your bomb in that kind of color, like, you're just shafted. I just feel like there should have been more decks to play. Maybe more kindred archetypes to go on, but you know, that's an arguable stance to lay on, but that has been my struggle with this format. Just to kind of things that was trying to work through. Tome Skimmer, so I know I'm kind of black too. I get the kind of idea that I could be like a Esper, Merfolk kind of thing, because I've picked up some black cards here. Trying to keep these options kind of open. Noggle of the Mind. Wonder Wine Distractor. It's Merfolk. Something I can champion out. So, Beholden Champion. So, not terrible. Mud Button Curse Tossers, really, really good card. I mean, that probably could have changed the direction of my deck if I would have picked that up right there. It's just a goblin, but like, and I'm not in goblins, but at the very least, it was flowing on my spot from both ends. But sticking to the bit, take the 4-drop Merfolk. Gnarled Bark Elm, really good card. Just kind of seeing it late. I was like, I'm in black, and it's the best card here by far, so pick it up, see what happens. I kind of settle. I had enough playables, barely, but I had enough playables for just straight blue white Azorius Merfolk. There was some like fairy stuff and some other options going around as well. So, but the fact that I was like so limited on, I mean, I could have splashed black for some things, but I'm looking at my cards at the end of the draft and I just really didn't see it. You know, it just really, just didn't like have a reason that I really wanted to be in black. The dagger, I guess the only reason would be the Dissident, the 1 mana elf, that I would still just play because it's that good. But here we are. Like, I just don't think splashing for a 1-drop's always great. Yeah, it's just a tough spot. No real fixing. My fixing is in the 2 colors that I ended up being, which is my Hollow Fountain. And yeah, sometimes that is how the cookie crumbles. Yeah, it wasn't. Oh, my first match it was against the Kitkin deck. My second match went up against a very good Goblins deck. It's actually the same guy that I lost to last week, which didn't feel great. Omni Changeling, not a bad card. I like the Convoke on it as well. Also a black removal spell. And more goblin stuff. Kitkin rare that I'm not interested in playing, but Omni Changeling, this card's great. I think it's because it can also copy things on their side of the field. If they have a bomb, you don't, which came up a lot, you know. And then I do have some things that want to be tapped by the end of the draft. And yeah, not our best, not our worst. Reaping Willow is actually a nice option, but Pestered Wellguard is great if I'm I actually don't know about this pick because I want this Merfolk, but I'm not like fully in. I need Merfolk in order to make my deck into a Merfolk deck. But I have Harmonized Crescendo, which needs you to be deep into a archetype to be able to get a payoff. Outside of that, it's a 6 mana draw 2, draw 1. You know, like not really what we're wanting. Yeah, Tweez is nice, but we have the 1/3 flyer. We got another Solitude. The Bristleback's not bad, but the Silvergill Mentor, fantastic pickup. We got Grub here, but not really interested in pivoting this late into the game. Not really what I want to do. Quill's good. The Mentor is good. We're kind of getting some nice little payoffs for this Merfolk thing, and I'm looking at so there's the 2-drop there, but there's also the Lifelinker, the Lifelink Changeling, which I do think is actually a very nice card, because it's just a nice Changeling, multicolored to where easy to cast. I pass on the 2-drop, but I think this is it could be anything. Like, I didn't see much options early in the draft on like taking Changelings, but Changelings they're glue to decks. Like they kind of put it all together, and it's a nice place to be. I do think that this deck deserved a 1/2, but it could have very easily been a 2/1 deck. But a 1/2, I feel like I got what I deserved. Oh, yeah, my second match ended up being against Goblins. Kind of got waxed. The guy he was just taking it all. His deck was really good. And then my third match was against Elementals, and I drew very badly. He had incredibly slow starts. And at game 1, I even had him down to like 2 or 3 health, and he ended up crawling back. And just kind of outvaluing me. He had a bunch of card draw and all those stuff. But those are the beats. And yeah, I did not draw very great throughout that process. Yeah, finishing up this, it's just nothing exciting late into these packs. I was just kind of like blasé all about it, just not feeling super great about where I ended up. But I have good cards. Champions of the Shoals, Sig. Sunderflock can be good, especially having the Omni Changeling. The cost reduction being by 5, which is a big deal. I mean, that means I can cast the Sunderflock for 4, which is pretty nice. Getting the Shore Lurker is a nice option, or a draw spell, but I think I'd take the Prideful Feastling. It's just a nice card that I want to look for. So take that over the Flying Merfolk. I don't know if that's right, but keep the curve as low as you can for Merfolk. I did not get any of the 5 mana 2/2s that make a 1/1, but it's a 2/2 Flying Vigilance, which I would have loved 2 of those. That would have been just busted in this deck. That would have kind of set me over. That's a common that gives you a reason to put you into a color. So we kind of get lucky here with the little 1-drop Merfolk. So like that was nice. Nice little pickup. Actually, to be fair, didn't see it once the whole draft. But like I said, those are the beats. But as we kind of conclude this draft, I do want to just say I appreciate you guys hanging out and with us and showing off some paper drafting. You know, it's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love providing you guys content with. If you guys have suggestions, please let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of February. Look at this. We got a Deep Weight Navigator super late as well. So I'm like, oh, okay. I do not think this card is like incredible by any means, but if I'm doing the Merfolk thing, it can be nice. So pretty sweet. And then this is the deck list here. And once again, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and please like, comment, subscribe. But honestly, I'll just see you guys in the next one, and we'll draft something cooler. Peace.